Very excited to kick off today. I do want to start by saying a great big thank you to Haworth, not just for the campaign, not just for the volunteerism and all the wonderful things that they're carrying, but any time that we need a room or a place to be, I will tell you that you give us awesome rooms with wonderful furniture and great food, and you're always gracious hosts, and we deeply appreciate it. The other group I want to thank today are our media partners. The stories that we have are not stories that we want to spend campaign money on to promote. So when you come to press conferences, when you come and see our community assessment rollout, when you come to Celebration during the year, when you help us with your media sponsorships, and when you do human interest stories, that's a big part of the success we have as a United Way. So thank you. I'm going to pass it on to John Jork. He is going to chat about the campaign goal for this year, and then we will continue on down the agenda. John Jork, thank you.
John Jork, the co-campaign chair. This year, as we stated in the earlier remarks, based on the assessment that was done, that we decided, after reflecting on it, to make the goal $2.5 million. Now that's a big goal because it's an $85,000 increase or 8% increase over last year's campaign goal. And a bit challenging in some ways because we're now asking people to give 8%, probably more than they received in a raise, and typically companies aren't giving 8% raises. So the thought process is, how do we tackle such a goal? First of all, we go back to our big givers and we tell them the story that we need more help. But on top of that, we have to start thinking outside the box a little bit. We have to start thinking in terms of how do we do some blue sky thinking. You know, in 1887, when the concept of United Way was born, there was no United Way. There was just merely a group of people who said we have a problem, how are we going to go solve it? And I think essentially that's what we have to be thinking about now. We have to go think and start thinking about the idea, how do we solve a problem like this, and how do we start doing things, because it's probably assured that that goal is going to continue to go up next year as well. Mainly because a lot of the traditional organizations that used to serve us and provide help are now backing away. So the solutions are going to come from our corporations and great organizations like Haworth, who can step up and play, use innovation, and begin solving these problems and stimulating the county to do so. That's what I see. So I'm excited to be part of that and to be able to inspire some people to think outside the box. Dan Buettner, in his book, The Blue Zones, identified 5 areas throughout the planet that are living beyond the age of 100. There's a number of attributes. One of them is social engagement. So the idea that people can go out there and become socially engaged and help themselves live longer is pretty exciting. And United Way offers an amazing opportunity for social engagement. So a retired person who might have a lot more time in their hands might make a great volunteer, or someone who might feel called to even leave a legacy if they get involved, and do some mentorship and be engaged in the community in ways they never imagined. That's the kind of ideas I'm thinking about, the blue sky thinking, that we can go and transform the way we do things. And that's what I think we should try and think about, as well as going back to the Haworths of the world and tell them where we're at, and hope that our traditional givers will give more. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to pass it along to Tracy Plummer to talk about the strategies for achieving this bold goal.
Sure. So hello. Strategies really continue to be much the same as they have been in the last year or two. We need to deepen our relationships with the companies that run corporate campaigns, and we need to attract more corporate campaigns as well. That area of the campaign continues to be the bread and butter of the money that we raise annually. And so in an effort to deepen those relationships, we want to make sure that we're able to go in and spread the Live United message, tell client stories, and help people understand the impact of engaging with United Way. As far as cultivating new corporate campaigns, we're kind of looking at it like corporations have vendors for things like their IT services or their coffee services, and Greater Ottawa County United Way has really become the vendor of choice for corporate engagement And we want to be that for them. So this statement I'm about to make is a call to action. If there's a corporation that is not engaged right now in their community and would like to be, we want to be there to help them do that. In your packet, you will see it's not just a good cause, it's a good business. And inside there are many reasons why this is good business. And one of those would be to create a better community, but also to keep your employees connected and engaged and stable. They may need some of the services that our partner agencies are providing. In addition, I wanted to mention that you don't have to be a part of a corporate campaign to be able to be a part of the Live United movement. There is many other ways to give, and there's lots of information about how to do that on our website. And as mentioned earlier, during the Haworth Kickoff, we have our 2 Tickets to Paradise drawing once again this year. This is the 3rd year, and that would be any new donor giving $1 a week, or any existing donor increasing their pledge by $1 a week will receive an entry into a drawing for 2 all-inclusive, airfare included tickets to Puerto Vallarta. So that is exciting, and last year's winner was from Haworth. So hopefully that'll be inspiration to the folks here at Haworth once again this year. I'm going to hand it off now to Luann Worksma. She's going to talk a little more about Lighthouse Leadership Giving within the campaign.
Yeah, you saw that Crystal Award that was just given of a lighthouse to Mr. Haworth, because this company has the most leadership givers in all of Ottawa County. This is in your packets, and Ruth, this is also available. Tracy's going to send it to you electronically. For the 2nd year in a row, we have found donors to create a leadership match in Southern Ottawa County. For 12 years, we've had a Tri-Cities leadership match. It's back for the 13th year, and basically an anonymous donor believes so much in the value of people who give at the leadership level that that anonymous donor made a challenge to anybody who gave $500 for the first time, or who was giving at that level but increased their gift to match dollar for dollar of the new gift or the increase up to $30,000. Every year in the Tri-Cities, we have met that match and exceeded it. And as of last year, it had resulted in $1,035,000 in new leadership giving over those 12 years. And that donor, I think, really happy that people from the South have stepped up also to make a challenge, has renewed that for the 13th year. For the 2nd year, very generous anonymous donors have come together in the southern part of the county to also have a $30,000 leadership match. So we have $60,000 in challenges that we need to earn. And the way we earn these is when people give $500 for the first time. Last year there were 753 people who gave at that level, or households that gave at that level, and they gave $940,000, which is about half of all given by individuals to the campaign. So about 8% of the people gave more than half of the dollars to the campaign. And what some people don't realize is they're very close to being leadership givers. If they've been giving $20 a pay period for 24 weeks, they've been giving all but $20 of a leadership gift. If you have somebody in your organization, and 90% of all leadership givers come from workplace campaigns, who's been giving at that level, and you can just kind of encourage them to give a little bit more to make it to the $500 level for the first time, that will double this year. So that new leadership gift will bring in a double gift. And that's one of the very powerful ways that we can make this ambitious stretch goal and raise another $185,000. The other thing we know about leadership givers is when they're that invested in their community, they invest in other ways too. They pay attention, they volunteer for the community investment process, they volunteer with our community partners, they're on getting connected. And so these are people who really have our community champions. So it's very important that we keep building. And we see every year that this area of the campaign goes up. So we have a very generous community, and we just want to encourage them and more people to join the leadership circle. Any questions?
We'd like to pass it over to Liz to talk about community impact highlights for the year.
So this year, at the early part of this year, we wrapped up our year 2 funding process, which allowed us to fund 56 different programs through 42 different partners. This year, at the end of this year and the beginning of next year, we'll be starting our year 1 process again, inviting new agencies to come to the table. There's a new program process that will take place. And again, just to reiterate the leverage dollars that we bring to the table. For every dollar that is given to United Way, it is $3.25 in community benefit. Part of that community benefit was bringing the Lakeshore Housing Alliance into our Earn, Save, Build, and food shelter support initiatives through financial stability and basic needs. Through the Lakeshore Housing Alliance, we received $1.1 million in HUD and MSHDA funding, which is emergency shelter, transitional housing, and permanent supportive housing. Along with having the Lakeshore Housing Alliance come in-house, we've now started an initiative called Ottawa Housing Next, and that is a regional cross-sector long-term strategy to provide housing, affordable housing for all in our community. So we're really excited about that. We've been working on that for about a year, and we continue to build that, having gone through phase 1 of trying to figure out what the need is, and now working in phase 2 with work groups to try and figure out what steps that we can take moving forward, and then hopefully phase 3 is actually getting a lot of the work done. But it is a process, and we are the backbone organization for that, which is again how we leverage that community dollar that our community invests in us. The last thing that we did a couple weeks ago, Patrick mentioned it earlier, is we rolled our community assessment that happens every 3 years. That's pretty exciting. With that assessment was the rollout of ALICE, which again is the Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed, and the fact that 35% of Ottawa County households are living below that ALICE threshold. So they're not able to make their basic needs in order to live in Ottawa County. So we're working with that. It's a wonderful report that came through Michigan Association of United Ways and Rutgers University. Again, another really great way that we're able to leverage our dollars and bring this wonderful report to our community. That's what's happening in Impact. Shannon. Now Shannon.
Well, thank you, Liz. I feel like I'm on the Price is Right. Come on down. So I'm Shannon Morton, Director of Volunteerism, and I'm going to give you a little recap of volunteerism for this past year. It was a stellar year, of course. And before I get into that, I just would like to give another plug to our community assessment. Because of that assessment, we were able to identify areas of need and sort of craft volunteer events around those things. So according to the state of Michigan, a volunteer hour is valued at $22.14. So last year, 8,018 volunteers, basically an army of volunteers, came out in Ottawa County and gave more than 128,000 hours of time and talent to our county, which is fantastic. But the even cooler part about that is we're leveraging that into $2.8 million of support through labor. I just think that's fantastic. We live in a great community. One of the ways that we gave back was through our community baby shower. So again, through that assessment, we knew that there were struggling families with babies. In 4 years, we raised more than $12,000 to help those families and those children. We also did something called Stuff the Bus, and we're working in our 3rd year. This year was our 3rd year. We raised more than $21,000 this year for school supplies for kids in Ottawa County. This is really an amazing thing. 750 packs were passed out to these students. And not only is it helping these students with the supplies they need, those basic needs, but it's also providing them with the confidence they need to be successful in a classroom. So we're really excited about that. And what I'm really super excited about today is our 14th annual Day of Caring. So that is this Thursday, September 17th. We're going to have 660 volunteers come out and work on more than 57 projects in our community. All sorts of projects, anything from reading to students to pulling invasive species of plants from our county parks, to stocking food banks, and you name it, someone's probably doing it here in our community. In your packets, there's also a link to those projects. So if any of our partners, our very special, wonderful, lovely communication partners, want to go and visit any of those sites, please feel free to do that. Take pictures, talk to our volunteers. It's an amazing event. Another cool thing that we do for our Day of Caring is the luncheons. We love to thank our volunteers for coming out and volunteering in our community. And this year it's a new place, so I really want to stress a new place because we've done it for almost, 8 years at the old place. So it is the Christian Reformed Conference Grounds in Grand Haven. It's right off of Lakeshore. And again, 80 Boss, a wonderful sponsor and partner of ours, is going to be providing food and the team to grill all that food and serving it, along with Tyson Foods, who donates the hot dogs that we'll give to people there. WGHN will do a live remote, so they'll be talking to some of our volunteers and talking to some staff. So that's very exciting, and we're going to give away some very cool prizes to thank our volunteers as well. So we hope that we see a lot of volunteers there. We hope that we see some of your media partners there as well. You're always welcome to come and get a plate of food. We'd love to talk to you there as well. And I also want to thank John and Martha York for heading this off and for joining us hopefully too. If you'd like to come for a hot dog, I know it's not quite this, but we will feed you anyway.
But it's going to be a gorgeous day.
It's going to be a gorgeous day. It'll be beautiful. So just lots of gratitude to all of our partners, our sponsors, and to Haworth, of course, for hosting this today. So thank you very, very much.